Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarty. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we certainly are, aren't we now? Yes, thank you very much, friends, for joining us here. And I am going to go ahead and share this on out because that is how we get the word out here at the Truth Quest. We got to do it kind of like, the old-fashioned way, Post it right to Facebook, just like my old grandpappy did, right? Maybe not. I'm glad that you're all here. Share this on out if you can to your favorite social media platforms and even some of the platforms that you don't like. What the heck? Spread the joy, right? Oh, the chat. Unable, the chat's not working. Oh, that's disappointing. Okay, all right, well, I guess we have to go over here and put the old music on, hey? All right. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Boy, the chat is not working. Isn't that strange, friends? I really apologize for that. Unable to connect to the chat. Now I wonder why that is. Let me see. I'm going to try and close some tabs out here and see if that helps. Maybe that will help. I don't know. Did that help? Yeah, my computer's been kind of, wonder if I should stop it and try it again. Should I? And see if we can get that chat working. Yeah, why don't we do that, friends? Should we just kind of shut this down, start right back up? What do you think? I guess I can't see because I can't see chat. 5 people watching. So, okay, well, well, that's weird. I'm going to go over to my Facebook page and I'm going to try and connect from there and see if it will connect from there, see if it's even working. Maybe the chat is working. I just can't see it. But yeah, I'll have to mute this right away so it doesn't freak us out. I saw Pumpkins out. Oh, it looks like the chat is working. Oh, the chat's working. Oh, good. Restart stream. Chat was repeating everything. Okay. I didn't do it, but is it working now? I don't know. It looks like it is. Rebop it? Reboot it? I don't think I have to. I think it's working. Is it not? I don't know. Well, welcome to the Truth Quest, however it is. I'm glad that you're all here. I can see the chat. I'm going to, say hello. See if it works. Okay, it works. Yeah. I think it's working now. Not your chat, Aaron. Was a morning show on YouTube. Oh, you mod for someone there and it got weird? Oh, okay. Weebles. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me. Did you hear about there was an earthquake down in somewhere in South America? Maybe near Mexico, and there was 3 earthquakes. The first one was mild, and some buildings fell down. Next one was a little bit bigger, and then some buildings fell down and a lot of other things, and most animals fell down. The third one, everything fell down except the bulls. The bulls did not fall down. And so they wanted to know why. And so I said, hey, how come we get these earthquakes and you guys don't fall down? And the bulls said, we bulls wobble, but we don't fall down. There you go. I worked that weebles into a joke there. How do you like that? Not good. Fair to partly Midland. A little side chuckle, perhaps. Oh, I got a ha-ha from Mud Rabbit. That's good enough for me. That makes my day. Okay. This is going to be like an open call night if someone wants to call in. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Mud Rabbit. SoCal Patriot 56, the Bulls. Yeah. Jerry, Austin Morris, glad to see you. Silver, Jerry, everybody is here. Thank you all for being here, and share this on out to your friends and relatives, and complete strangers. It's a nice time to make a new friend and get them into the whole disclosure thing, right? So I want to show you something. Now, this came out quite a while ago now. My buddy Tyler over there at Secure Team 10, or Secure Team, or you want to call it. He was showing this. Now, this strange, it looks like Max is calling in. Hello, is this Max? Max?
Yep.
How are you today?
Yes,
How are you today?
very good.
Oh, good. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I tried to call in a little earlier, but I figured you're busy.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the call. Yeah, I wasn't. I was getting ready. Say, Max. I just posted a picture up there on the screen here, and it's of an alien that they found supposedly in Quebec, Canada, in the snow in 1992. And they took some pictures of it, and someone made a video of those pictures in 1992 and posted it on the internet, the intranet. And I remember this, but now Tyler is bringing this up again because it's making the rounds again. Someone dug it up, and so it's very interesting.
What kind of an alien is it?
Well, it kind of has a big head, not so much tall, but kind of wide, big all the way around, kind of cylindrical almost. And it has bigger eyes than humans proportionally, but smaller, not really like, they look more like normal human type eyes. And they have a very small mouth and a very narrow chin. It goes down dramatically. And they hoisted it up on a cable or like a clothesline. And its arms went down and hooked into like 2 hooks, almost like a sloth. You know, I don't know. Is this maybe a sloth? I don't know. But they found it. Some snowmobilers found it, and they photographed it. And then they went back the next morning, and it was gone. It was gone.
Oh.
And they never touched it. They picked it up with sticks in that cord. But yeah, very interesting.
Oh, that is interesting. I didn't never heard of that one.
No, I remember this from some years ago. This is one picture from it, and I got some more pictures that I'll put on there. So let's go and do that. So what's new? What's new with you, Max?
Oh, not too much today. Been somewhat busy today.
Okay.
About ready to start a business venture with some folks. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
It's a high tech business venture. I can't go into too much detail, but
Right.
a lot of different projects, a lot of really high end projects. Some of them actually related to free energy.
Yeah. Free energy.
Free energy, yeah. There's one vehicle we're looking at that we're going to try to do an assessment on that runs entirely off of air.
Oh yeah. There's a vehicle in France. Actually, they're marketing it down in South America. It's the air car. You heard about that? Compressed air.
Yeah. I had a business partner who's an engineer that looked at it and said everything that he could tell without taking it apart, it worked, that it did not require an outside power source.
Right.
Other than to get it started.
Okay.
Get it started. Once you start it, it can run and it can produce a certain amount of power. Continuously.
Yeah.
And we're also looking at, if you're familiar with the topic of HHO.
HHO.
Right, it's there's a gentleman by the name of Rugaro Santilli discovered that if you produce a high voltage pulse between a very thin gap with water, that a gas will escape, and it's not. It kind of looks like water vapor, but it isn't, because it possesses energies on a nuclear scale.
Okay.
And it started. I had a business partner show me a video and asked me to comment on it, and then asked me to see if I could find out it was real. And I found out it was the video he was showing me was a real thought station. And then I dug into the literature and found out this guy had 6 or 7 patents, and he had at least one publication. And the publication's online if anybody wants to look it up. It's quite fascinating. It's called Controlled Intermediate Nuclear Fusion.
Oh.
And if you look into that patent, into that paper, he says that he lists his patents. It says these patents are examples of the use of controlled intermediate nuclear fusion. And of course, the patents they don't read like that, right? Because he knew that if he made them sound like a fusion process, they'd never let him get the patent. So this guy is a high-level nuclear physicist, and basically what he says is occurring is one hydrogen atom is magnetically bonded to the other hydrogen atom, and then there's an oxygen stuck on the one hydrogen. So it's like water, but it's not like water.
Okay.
It's a linear molecule instead of an angular molecule. Because normally a hydrogen with water, you got if you can imagine, you got hydrogen sticking off one side of an oxygen, and then like a tinker toy. You ever see a tinker toy? You know that you can only put it. They only have holes in certain places, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes the angles. It's an angular structure between the oxygen, the hydrogen, the oxygen, the hydrogen.
Okay.
Looks kind of like an L shaped,
Okay.
and but this molecule is linear, so it responds completely different than water does. And I've actually seen he bought an HHO generator, and later I found proof in the literature that there were other ways of making this gas that had been discovered long before, and people didn't know what they had.
Mm. Okay.
And why is that important? Because there were patents that prevented anybody from doing this work, and because they didn't have a way to produce it. Well, I found another way to produce it, basically.
Okay.
I wonder, I don't know this to be a fact, but Emery Smith talks about a water-like substance being used to power special suits.
Yeah.
That he used when he was at Kirtland Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether or not that might be something like HHO. I don't know that. I don't know that though. I'm just curious.
The only thing I'm familiar with is the HO road racing that I used to do, slot car racing, HO scale.
Right, HO scale.
AFX, we had Thunder Jets, Aurora Thunder Jets.
Right.
The predecessor to the AFX.
As a kid, I really loved those slot car racing.
Me too. Yeah, we did too. I kind of went nuts. I built like this big plywood thing with like hills made out of paper mache and little buildings, and it was.
I did a little bit of model railroad stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
My dad was really big into that.
You know who did it the best though? Gomez Adams. He did trains the best. You have to admit, he'd blow them up on the bridge. That was so.
Oh wow!
Remember on the Adams Family?
Oh yeah.
That was classic. And the Adams Family really proved to everybody that you can live whatever kind of life you want to live, and it can be like normal to you, but it doesn't have to be normal to anybody else.
Monsters too.
Yeah, but they just live their life normal, and like that's kind of
Spot.
What?
You remember Spot, the dog that lived in the basement of the month or so?
Oh yeah, under the steps. Yeah, it was like a dragon, right?
Fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah. I think that the Munsters had all the visuals, the very cool visuals, but the Addams Family was more sophisticated humor,
Yeah.
And it was just funny that they were so rich, and I don't know, just very, very hilarious. I just love that show, The Addams Family. And
good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, great show. Yeah, the golden age of television. And those two shows came out the exact same year. Can you believe it? Yeah.
I mean, it was a 72. I don't think it was 72.
No, I don't know what it was. But I got to say something about this picture. It's been up there. This is the being that they put up. They held up with that cord or that rope or something, and some sticks. You can see a stick in front of them, kind of a V-shaped stick that they were using. But there he is. He's allegedly deceased, or very close to it. And there's one more picture of this little guy, and it looks like it's partially thawed out. And I don't know if it's if it's the same guy or if it's a different fella or gal or whatever. But when they first came upon this, the three snowmobilers, they came upon this being under the snow. It had snow had fallen, like there was like 4 inches of snow on top of this thing, and they brushed the snow off, and oh my gosh, it's a being. And so that's what, well, I guess as he thought, he kind of got more of a skin tone color to his face, but he's got a round shaped head, very, very, and a very thin neck. So not human at all, looking.
Kind of like an
Yeah, they called it an EBE on the
Yeah, even
an EBE,
extraterrestrial
extraterrestrial.
biological entity.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that's that. I thought that was interesting.
That's supposedly, according to the UFO lore, is the ones that developed the Anunnaki, and then from the Anunnaki they created us.
Yeah.
And supposedly the Eben created a number of other things, including some kind of an violent insect-like race.
Yeah.
So what's the subject tonight?
Well, I'm just talking about this alien that they found the video came out in 1992. I assume that's when this happened. And Tyler was talking about it on Secure Team. Great channel. Check it out. And
yeah, I've seen that.
So this video is now making the rounds again. People are rediscovering it. And Tyler had never seen it before. But I had definitely seen this many, many years ago. This was out. And I just did a search on it. Can't find it. It's unfindable. At least I haven't been able to find it yet. So I took these stills from the video that Tyler made. So I highly recommend.
Any more input on from, I can't remember her name, something George.
Kelly George.
What's her name?
Yeah, she's here.
Kelly George.
Yeah, he does look sad, doesn't he, Kelly? Yeah. I just noticed, yeah, she's just making a comment about how he looks. And he does look very sad. I'm going to take him off. He's sad looking, you know, it's very sad. He's probably a deceased entity. Hopefully his spirit form was able to make it back to his ship and he could enter another body to inhabit, which is what they do. Some of these entities do that. They have alternate bodies in case that they run into problems.
Well, did Kelly have any more thoughts on the blue orb?
Any more thoughts, Kelly, on the blue orb? And there's about a couple minute lag here till we get an answer.
Okay. Well, I was thinking, all of a sudden I was thinking, I know somebody from Middleton. I was trying to think who it was, and the only thing I could remember is that a lady named Isabel there had a dog.
Yeah.
A dog with a little bit of a strange name called Tarzan.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why that memory came up as soon as she mentioned Middleton. I said, what is it? Something, you know how you have these thoughts here. He said, I know that place from somewhere. I know that place from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly, you know, like an hour after I got off the phone and whatever I thought about it, I said, I know what it was. Some kind of lost track of her. She's down here near Tampa somewhere, but I don't know exactly where.
Okay.
It was just a memory.
Okay, interesting. I got something here I want to put up on the camera here. It's this temple in India that was carved out of a mountain of solid rock.
Yeah,
and the intricacy of this thing is just unbelievable. And you know, if you ever looked at these temples in India, there are like so many of them, and they're so ornate, and they're so ancient, and the craftsmanship is just unbelievable.
Yeah, you try to figure out how they do it, you know, how they laid that out, how they did that. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is. Now, Dorothy Isaac, when she did a regression, she was living in the Atlantean times, and at that point in history, these beings on Earth were using these crystals. Some were white and some were blue. And on one end was like some kind of metal cap, some kind of metal something that had something on one end of the crystal. And these crystals could be used for a number of different things. They could carve mountains with them. You could carve rock with them, but they could also use them for weapons. And so I think of that when I see stuff like this, you know, did they have something?
Like a muon laser.
Because the other question about this temple in India carved out of a mountain, it's gigantic, it's many stories tall, is, you know, where did all the dirt go, or all the rock? Where is it? It's nowhere. It's like gone. What did they do with it?
Did it get floated off into space or something? Yeah, where'd it go?
Yeah, I don't know. And you know, these things are so symmetrical. These designs are so intricate and symmetrical. So, and you know, carving rock, it's a subtractive sculpture. So,
I think I read on that particular structure that there were also subterranean caverns or something below it that there were, of course, legends that you didn't want to go down there. That's something I vaguely remember from the time I researched that.
Well, I think under a lot of these temples and buildings is running water, and pyramids, running water, because I think running water is key to a lot of stuff. I heard a very interesting story. I think I've shared this before here, but this gentleman, he was working in the underground tunnels, like in New York or New Jersey. And he went down there in the morning to go work, you know, under the river, and doing tile work or something down there all day, 8-hour day. He came up after working 8 hours. It was still morning of that same day.
Yeah.
Like there was some kind of time warp. I think there's like something really magical about, you know, running water, especially running water underground. There's something magical, something that happens. I don't know. Maybe some kind of, you know, maybe some kind of gravitational thing happens with water as it moves. I'm not sure. Or maybe it has certain minerals in it. If it has minerals in it, it would be like kind of like a metal, like a mineralized water that maybe be ionized.
Well, you know that the monatomic gold is supposed to be very, very soluble water. And it's, of course, it's a superconductor. It's a 2D superconductor, so it can hold massive amounts of energy and or knowledge.
Okay.
So maybe if it's a superconductor, you know, I imagine it's highly energized during an electric field. So when you spin an electric field, you create a magnetic field.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe it does somehow, by some movement, produce a gravity field.
Uh-huh. Oh, Kelly George says, the only reason I stood up to it was because of the things that happened to me before. The orb was scary, but it just seemed to want to hang around and observe. I tried feeding it food and water. Oh, that's cute. Because, yeah, you were 7. It just seemed content to be under the dresser and kept spinning in place. Wow. That's so wild, isn't it?
I did a little research, a little bit of research on orbs after I listened to that.
Yeah?
I said, well, so the people think that orbs are either there to download information to you or upload information from you, or there's all kinds of things that people have speculated about orbs. Most orbs are viewed as being positive in nature for the most part.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. course, they vary in size. I think you mentioned that last time.
Here's a little orb. It's a flashing light orb. I don't know if you can see the flashing light. But this is just one you get at Walmart for $1.99. It's flashing lights. There it goes. Yeah, but I've never seen an orb, so I'm jealous of you guys. That's pretty cool that you got to see that. That's awesome. Yeah, I've only seen the little dots in the pictures when you take the pictures, but I've never, seen
Well,
it.
you get to see yourself lifting out of your body. I mean, I've never seen that.
Oh yeah. You know what else? I found a picture. Do you remember me telling a story about when I left my body in second grade?
Yeah, I remember you talking about. Yeah, something like that. Oh, I did. I was talking to somebody and did have a memory of something somewhat similar to what you were describing.
Yeah. Well,
it was after a car accident.
Really?
I was in the car accident, and there's four of us in the car, and we're heading off to Denny's in the neighboring town after working.
Denny's?
And I was sitting in the back seat, and my best friend was sitting in the front seat, driving. And all of a sudden, the steering locked up, and he couldn't turn the wheel, and so everybody. It was like everything went slow motion, right? And we were all trying to turn the wheel. Meanwhile, we could see, like, it flashed an image at a time, like slow motion. You see, we're going to hit this cornerstone in the field.
Okay.
And
wow.
I said, everybody get your seatbelt, slow motion. Everybody get your seatbelts on, slow motion.
Uh-huh.
And we hit it, and the car started spinning. I think it was clockwise.
Wow.
Anyway, two of us were thrown out. Two of them had seatbelts. Were in for the ride, and one guy died and had a seatbelt on.
He died?
Not my best friend and I were thrown out, and laying in the cornfield.
Yeah.
And we're just lucky the farmer heard the crash and came out looking to see what was that noise.
Wow.
It's like midnight, and it's when we were in just after high school, basically between high school and college. And of course, people were talking. They were probably drinking. Of course, there's no drinking going on at all. But when we get to the hospital, we're talking, and they have close to each other, and the nurse has to come in. At the time, I need you guys to shut up because we're talking so much.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one point I'm talking, and I can see myself from above at the same time, and all of a sudden I zoom down into myself, and mid-sentence I stop and don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
And my buddy notices and says, "Well, what happened to you?" So what do you mean, what happened? He says, "You were telling me something, and all of a sudden just stopped mid-sentence." And I said, "I don't know what I was saying."
Uh-huh. Wow.
So now I remember that part that I was actually viewed as from above,
Uh-huh. Wow.
I wasn't near death or anything, so I don't know what that was about.
Well, sometimes you can be physically thrown out of your body. Like, Andy talks about when he was in the programs, they spin him out. They literally strap him to like, a turntable. And he would spin his consciousness out of his body,
Well, then who was talking then? Because my body was talking.
Wow.
I could hear myself talking.
Maybe you
I
got.
could see myself talking.
Maybe you got multiple puppet masters.
I couldn't hear anything.
You have multiple puppet masters, maybe.
Boy, I don't know what that meant. remember it till just a few days ago.
Me, myself, and I might take on a whole nother meaning for you then, huh?
Yeah. That's supposedly as far as I know, I have been to trauma-based mind control. So
yeah, gets crowded in here.
Split personalities because of it.
Yeah, gets crowded in here. Me, myself, and I. But this is the school I went to. This is Oak Hill Elementary School, and this was kind of a spooky school. It was only second grade, but in the basement they had the coolest lunchroom, and they would give you extra sandwiches. You could eat as many extra sandwiches as you wanted. The lunch lady would go around with a plate of extra sandwiches. I thought, wow, this is so cool. I mean, that never happened at any other school I ever went to. But
was that back in the days where they still allowed dodgeball? Did you ever have to do dodgeball?
Oh yeah, we had dodgeball all the time. It's terrible. Yeah. But anyway, I was here at Oak Hill. I was in second grade. It was in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. It was a beautiful day. Beautiful weather. It was like summery out, but it was a school day. Probably a lot like today. And I was out at recess. I was outside, and there were kids running around playing, doing different things, but there was no one around me. I was just laying in the grass, and it was one of those perfect days, It was a great day, and clear skies, very few clouds. And I noticed the moon, and I thought, wait a minute. And it was the first time I'd ever seen the moon and realized that I was seeing the moon during the daytime. And I was a bit confused. So I thought, well, how come I'm seeing the moon in the daytime? I was confused about that. Well, if I can see the moon in the daytime, I should certainly be able to see the stars as well, because the moon is kind of bright, but the stars are like shiny bright, right? Piercing bright. So my thinking was you'd be able to see a star if you can see the moon. So I started looking for stars in the blue sky, and I couldn't see any stars. And I thought, well, maybe I'm not looking far enough. So all of a sudden I started looking far, and I started going up there. And then I looked back, and it was like I was way above the earth.
Wow.
And I freaked out because I'm afraid of heights. And I zoomed back into my body, and I freaked out. I was like grasping the grass with my hands because, it felt like I fell up, And I
had that, something like that, but I thought it was just a dream one time.
And I rolled over, and I was like freaking out. And for a number of weeks after that, I didn't want to go outside. I wanted to stay inside a building so I wouldn't float up. At least the ceiling would stop me, right? I'm thinking.
Right.
So,
exactly.
But yeah, that I think that was the first time I left my body. It was when I was really truly just trying to see farther, see farther. And I did. I saw real far up. I'm glad I didn't get lost on the way back. It was a long ways back. But I think we're somehow connected in a way. I don't know, some kind of odd thing, But that was freaky. That was a freaky school. And my teacher was Miss Squibb. Squibb. I don't know if it was Mrs. Squibb or if it was Miss Squibb. But yeah. She wasn't a very good teacher. Yeah. She put me in the cloak closet more than once.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she put me in there, and she said, now you stay in here. I don't want to hear a peep out of you until I call you out of here. So I sat in there, and then the kids went to the cloak closet to get their lunches. I watched them as they got their lunches. At the end of the day, she came in there. What are you doing in here? I said, you put me in here this morning. She goes, but how come you're still here? I said, you told me not to make any noise until you let me out. And she freaked out. But
it's amazing how certain memories are clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
way back when. No?
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
others, of course, you can't remember anything.
I know. I can't remember what I went in the other room for. But yeah. I remember the first day of school there. I came in like mid-year. And it was traumatic. It was traumatic because they said, "Oh, let's show Aaron what we know. Who wants to come up to the board and write the vowels?" I'm thinking, vowels? I hadn't heard of that word before. And this girl goes up and she writes A-E-I-O-U. I'm going, wait a minute. They call the alphabet or the letters vowels, and their alphabet is in a different order. I got to learn a whole new alphabet now. I was freaking out. I was wrong, but that was what I thought, right? But yeah, it was pretty wild. And there was this cake, this beautiful, wonderful, big birthday cake, big white birthday cake, up in the back shelf. It's a big, tall. It was an old-fashioned school, big, tall cabinets in the back. On top of the cabinets, this beautiful birthday cake. I used to look at that and just salivate. And one day, it was someone's birthday, and she went back with a little stepladder. She went up there and got that thing, brought it down, lit the candles. The kid blew out the candles, and then she put it back up there. It was a plaster cake. I was so wanting a piece of that cake. Talk about torture. Looking at a cake all year, and finally, oh my gosh, can't eat it. No. So there you have it.
Well, I remember the first time I don't remember what year it was, when I'd never seen fake dog poop. Somebody brought one to school and put it on my chair.
Oh yeah?
And I thought it was real.
Yeah?
And I was upset, telling the teacher, somebody put dog poop on my chair.
Oh wow.
And she came back and said, well, get something to clean it up.
Wow.
You know? And then, of course, there was some laughter ensuing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, of course, there's even more of just absolutely flabbergasted when somebody lifted it off. It's like, what? I said, I've never seen dog poop. You could do that with this.
You know,
the concept of plastics hadn't registered in my mind yet.
Yeah, prank gifts. Those are great. Now, that totally reminds me of something that happened around the same time as when I was going to that school. This guy, neighbor friend of ours, Brett Sorensen. Now, what was I going to say? Talk about walking in the other room. I just walked in the other room and now I lost it. Oh boy. Let me check.
Well, I heard something.
Go ahead.
David Wilcock had a recent presentation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I fell asleep twice trying to watch it.
Yeah.
It's so long and it's so well. I wanted to listen, but I just couldn't keep my attention on it because he has so much filler in there that's not about the subject, and all of a sudden I fall asleep. Well, anyway, I tried twice. I got a little bit out of it. There was one cool information about disclosure. He was just saying where there's 154 pages, I think, related to this most recent disclosure that the government put out.
Okay.
He said it's on this website. He said it's www.ufo. Figures I just forgot the UFO. Figures I just forgot the site.
Anyway, I did remember what I forgot. It was
UFOexplorations.com.
UFOexplorations.com? Explorations.
Yeah, so the 154-page document and has a lot of technical details that the government released. I think it's to Congress.
Okay.
About things they found from alien craft.
All right. Well, I hope
I
that
haven't gone there yet.
I hope that they give something more than just drivel, which is all they ever give. I remember
Well,
what
the
I
only
was.
thing he mentioned. Okay. The only thing he mentioned was nitinol or nickel titanium alloy, the memory alloy. It was one of the things listed in that 154 pages.
Yeah. Well, that was developed from alien tech, but it was developed by humans. It was nickel and was it titanium?
There's a patent by the Naval Ordnance Lab. That's what it stands for, Nickel Titanium Alloy Naval Ordnance Laboratory, nitinol.
Yeah. They've come up with so much stuff.
1955 patent
Wow.
from the patent was assigned though to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. That's where the research was done.
Okay. All right. I remember what I forgot earlier about Brett Sorensen, and you talked about the kid putting the fake dog poop on your chair. I was at his house once when we were kids in St. Louis Park, and went outside, and it's like, oh, watch out, there's dog poop there. And he goes, oh my God, that's a perfect one. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I got some clear spray in the house. He goes and gets his clear spray. And he sprays it. And when it dries, he turns it over, he sprays the bottom, sprays it and sprays it and sprays it. When it's all done, he puts it on his shelf in his bedroom. He goes, I can't believe I finally found a perfect one. So he,
oh boy. Is he part of the Adam family?
No, he helped us name our puppies when our dog had 9 puppies. And we had 8 puppies, 7, because 2 of them died the night that they were born because they drowned because it rained. But so we were naming these puppies, and there was one fluffy white one, Goldie. She was a golden retriever, or golden something. But anyway, so Mitchell Sorensen, Mitchell or Brett? Anyway, this kid Sorensen said, how about Adolf? And we went, yeah, that sounds like a good dog name. Because he was into World War II. We didn't,
right.
we were just kids. We didn't hear about that yet, you know. We just thought Adolf sounds like a good dog name. And there was a meat product called Adolf's Meat Tenderizer. It was some kind of stuff you put on meat or something, sauce or something.
Right.
Adolf's Meat Tenderizer. Well, he liked chewing on meat, so he was Adolf the Meat Tenderizer.
Okay.
So, and we actually had 2 dogs over the years named Elvis. Or not Elvis, but Adolf. That one and another one later on. But yeah, it's a good dog name. But yeah, the fake poop, that was, I couldn't believe it.
It was a big shock when it first came out. I was like, of course, the gag gifts were big for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah. They're still big to some people.
Yeah.
It's a good, for like, what is it? April Fool's Day. Is you take a rubber band and you put the rubber band around the sprayer of the sink in the kitchen. So when they turn the water on, it sprays them. It's, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old little airplanes you could buy that you had a rubber band?
Oh yeah. Sure.
That was. I'm surprised they don't have those things nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Those are cool. I mean, then they got more sophisticated. I remember buying one that had a little cam thing on the bottom, and it controlled the path that the airplane took when it went in the air.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. So long ago, I can't remember, but it had different things you could snap on the bottom, and it basically tells it controls the different the wings, ailerons, and everything else, so they would go up and down and left and right and by itself, and it was fun. And the only problem is the batteries back then didn't work that well.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't fly that very far before it ran out of power, but
wow.
it's still cool. Bottle rockets, those are fun.
Yeah.
Good.
I got a Hubble Space Telescope picture up there. It looks like an eye, some kind of galaxy or star.
Did you ever have a telescope as a kid?
No, I had only one telescope my whole life. It was when I got at a garage sale. It never really worked, but it looked cool in my room.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, I had a number of telescopes. Of course, I looked at stars, and that was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I got a little thing about a Gilbert chemistry set that I got when I was 6, I think. And it had 78 chemicals in it.
Okay.
And I remember making my first invention was ant poison.
Oh.
I mixed a little bit of all 78 chemicals and put it on ants, and they died.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty stupid, really, but it worked. But
Wow.
I knew how to make gunpowder when I was 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a lab before I was in high school. I had a lab of 700 chemicals or more. It had more chemicals than I would see in the university laboratory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing experiments. I was making gemstones. I was actually growing gemstones. I know how to grow gemstones.
Really?
It takes years, but I can tell people how to do it.
Okay.
You get alumina, which is aluminum oxide, right? You get alumina, and you add a little bit of a base to it. You can use something like a lye, potassium hydroxide, and just a little bit in there with it, and you add some kind of a coloring ion. If you want a ruby,
Mm-hmm.
you put a little chromium in there.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is you can research how much to put in there, and you put it in a beaker, right? And you might make, I don't know, half an ounce in this beaker, and you cover it with a piece of plastic film, and you poke a single little pinhole in the top, and it literally will evaporate over years.
Okay.
And as it's evaporating, the crystal starts to form.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful gemstone you get. I have one I let grow for 25 years. It's about inch and a half in diameter.
Wow.
The gemstone.
Wow.
It'll continue to grow if you have to add some more alumina and everything else. So the best way to do it, well, you can do some pretty spectacular things.
Do they grow different with the kind of music that you play?
I don't know about that. I'm trying to try that, but you can make it change colors. You can have a gemstone that's different colors.
Okay. All
And what you do is midway through that process, don't touch the gemstone because you'll mess it up.
Right.
Because the oil on your fingertips will.
Yeah, I always thought we're not supposed to touch crystals. I really feel like we're not supposed to touch them.
But the oil disturbs them, so you get something that looks god awful.
Yeah.
Instead of highly regular.
Okay.
But you carefully decant off the old liquid. You make another solution now with a different colored ion, like say for amethyst or something else, topaz, and then you put the film on top and you let it go for another few years, and again, it'll add a different color onto what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite amazing. Mother Nature does that over, thousands
Mm-hmm.
of millions of years,
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty spectacular,
Yeah.
that you can do it yourself. So
That is really cool. That sounds interesting. Dark Brain is talking about methods needs prayer. He and his wife were victims of identity theft. And I guess they got hit very badly. You will be off for a while. Oh my gosh.
Well, I had someone hack into my phone and do that. And I actually tracked the guy down, guy in Texas. I told my bank. The bank wouldn't do anything about it. Says, well, unless they steal $4,000 from you or something. We can't do anything about it. It's like, don't you even want the guy's name so you can put him on a watch list or something?
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't do anything. I was pretty dismayed about that.
Okay. Abby's asking something. I'm not really sure. Can you explain that, Aaron? Explain, like the picture. Okay, this is. I believe it's probably either a reptilian or an amphibian being that was photographed in the Giovannapada case. One of 3 different aliens that was photographed. But I thought this one was really interesting because it has like flesh-colored nostrils, and the rest of the face is like green and yellows, and it's very kind of almost like a turtle or something, or it's like a frog turtle thing or something, but it definitely looks like it's alive. Now, this is something that I screenshotted from a video from years ago, and I haven't been able to find that video again. I have not been able to find these images again. They've been scrubbed. So I haven't seen anybody else ever show these. So I don't know if they still exist somewhere, but here they are again, in case you missed them. You love frogs, but that would scare you, Mud Rabbit? Yeah. Oh, why I think crystals shouldn't be touched? Okay, well, I don't know, because, the oils in our hands, like what Max just said, can harm the crystals. And I think crystals are alive because they're vibrating, got like a heartbeat. So, and when Corey Good was brought down to an underground cavern as a youngster with some other young people, they were brought down to this deep underground cavern where they got permission to go to, where there are these giant purple crystals that were allegedly put here to answer prayers, to kind of like, to be like this all-knowing wisdom of the planet, to help all beings on the planet through like spirituality. And this is what these, and the youngsters were encouraged to try to communicate with the crystals, but they were stressed, please do not touch the crystals because you could damage them or they could hurt you. So from that, it's like, and I got some crystals, and I just don't like touching them. I want to put them somewhere where they're not going to be, I just feel like there's, I don't know. I feel like we're not supposed to. And that's my gut feeling. I don't know. That's my gut feeling.
Have you ever seen that crystal called Tiger Eye?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I used to have a ring like that when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I used to make those kind of rings and things.
Really?
And it's very dangerous. You got to wear a mask because that dust, it can be deadly.
Really?
If you breathe much of it in, yeah. But I used to make belt buckles about Tiger Eye and things like that. It's a lot of fun.
So you can make those? That's not just a rock.
Yeah.
Not a rock that occurs naturally?
No, I don't make the rock. I get a piece of rock and I cut it to shape
Oh, okay.
so it can be put in a belt buckle or in a ring or a necklace and I still have a rock saw that's 21 inches in diameter.
Okay.
Saw blade.
All right.
It'll cut through rock up to about, we'll go 21 inches. It'll go about 15 inches.
Wow, I might need to borrow that from you.
Oh, it's loud.
Because I still
It
got
takes a while for it to cut through.
I got a big piece of my foundation in my back patio still from when that car hit my house.
It uses a water hose to cool it.
Okay.
So it takes a lot. And I didn't learn the first time I bought the thing. I didn't know how to use it right. It's got a really heavy track. It took 2 people to lift this track it sits on.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these big heavy weights. I didn't know you got to have these heavy weights on the track. Well, when I first turned it on, it ran right over the sample and across the floor, and unfortunately, it unplugged itself.
Mm. Wow.
It just took off.
Interesting. So here is the rest of the images from that Giovanna case. Here's that reptilian kind of turtle-looking, amphibian-looking guy. Here's kind of like a hybrid-looking guy. And here's some kind of, I don't know, I want to say gray alien-ish, but not quite. Something a little bit different, perhaps, than a gray alien, or like a pink alien. The beige alien? I don't know. Looks like he has a piece of grass on his head. And these are fingerprints that were, I went over this before, but this glowing stuff here was a material that you would need a particle accelerator to make. So, and she did not have access to that. This is on the windowsill, 3 fingers. Here's the alien with the glowing body. And here's the fetus that she aborted, and a ship leaving after one of the abductions where she was impregnated. And then they come and they go. And her boyfriend set up these motion sensor camera outside their door. And this is what they caught, these 3 type of beings coming there to this poor woman's house, apartment, over and over again.
I used to have the most incredible displays on for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Mom made these ghosts, shapes like ghosts, or kind of, I don't know if she put stars on them or what, but they're shapes of ghosts that they can hang from the trees with fishing line. But there's this chemical that when you open the bottle, it lights up. Mm-hmm. And so I sprinkled this chemical on top of that ghost, and so these things are out. They're lit up. Mm-hmm. And there's no light stick under there, so people are like, how's that lit up, Mm-hmm. They keep looking at it. So I did this for a number of years, and then I had to stop because what I didn't realize, on a windy day, that chemical I put on there carried out a chemical reaction and made heat, so these ghosts would burst into flame.
Oh my.
And so it was a danger because, what you have around on the ground, typically around Halloween, lots of leaves. Mm-hmm. So these things were when we first discovered it, it was like, they said, we'd have trick-or-treaters says, your ghosts are on fire, your ghosts are on fire. It's like, what? And they were catching on fire.
Ghosts were on fire. Sounds like a hit song.
Yeah. Here it goes. Ghosts on fire.
Could be. Stranger things have happened. Okay.
Yeah, I like playing with things that light up. There was once upon a time when I was younger, there was a band called the Light Band.
Yeah.
And I was going to make glow-in-the-dark suits for them.
Oh, cool.
and they were kind of aluminized behind, right? So, and they have a thin layer of clear plastic, and so you put the light stick chemical in between, and it's a very thin layer, right? But what's spectacular about it, because it's aluminized behind it, you can't see anything but light coming out of this thing, you know? So
Okay.
it's spectacular.
Wow.
And they reneged on their, part of the deal. This was like I was sophomore in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And, or else I would have made it. I learned how to make glow stick chemicals, however, doing that. I'm kind of an expert at making light sticks.
Oh, yeah?
I can make a light stick flash. I can make them turn colors. I got a red, white, and blue light stick.
That's cool.
And it's cool. There's things I learned that you could do with it. I can make a light stick that, compared with what's out there now, after 3 days, it'll be brighter than any light stick that you've ever seen at any time.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it lasts for, a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out how to make the light sticks glow for 18 times longer than, and they're supposed to, if you read on the package, they're supposed to last for 3 years on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I have glow sticks I made in the 90s that still work today.
They're still glowing?
No, you have, but if I broke it, it still lights up and works.
Okay.
Whereas none of the other products will work past 3 years.
Wow.
Because I figured out what makes it fail.
Oh, yeah?
Got rid of the problem. So.
Wow. Problem solver. You got a problem you need solved, talk to Maxwell Smart. He'll get it fixed for you in a hurry.
So it's fun. I mean, glow sticks are fun stuff, right? And
mm-hmm.
how can you not like glow sticks? I mean, it's so much fun to make it do things, that
mm-hmm.
nobody's been able to do, and they're like, how do you do that? How do you make a flash? How do you make the light stick flash?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the key is you use an oscillating reaction.
Okay.
That provides one of the ingredients. I think so it goes on and off and on and off. The trick is making it so it doesn't use energy when it's dark.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to waste half your energy while the thing's dark, right? So I made something first. I discovered it. I made something called what I call a camel hump. The glow stick starts out at one intensity, right, and it kind of drops, and then it goes back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes down, and it goes back up again.
Hmm.
And so it wasn't completely going off, so it wasn't really a flashing glow stick. It just was going up and down the light levels.
Desvolt says light sticks are great for flying RC planes and helps at night. Yeah, I bet.
For flying what?
Light sticks for RC, remote control planes.
Well, it certainly helps to find them at night.
Yeah, I bet. And
I've been working on a new kind of lighting device that uses air to light. I discovered in the literature this thing, and I'll go ahead and tell people. Maybe someone else discovered before I do. It's called lumichrome.
All right.
LUMICROME. Lumichrome. Well, the thing about lumichrome is it has some very strange properties. If you got the right pH or whatever, and as long as there's air around, it will light up. So I was going to make these things to put in mines, right? So you could have these things in the mines. You could look down the tunnel and see if the air was gone, right? So make it safer for miners.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, oh, I've got something better to make that. Imagine you made like a fluorescent bulb. They'd use this technology, and even when the power's out, you'd have one bulb always lit up.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there's air around, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't use that much air. It's very efficient, right? So I thought, boy, some of these things could be very useful. You know, you can,
Mm-hmm.
all the things you could think of you making that would light up, essentially, as long as there's air around.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow, interesting.
I haven't perfected it. You know, like I said, maybe somebody will perfect it. You know, there are chemicals our body makes that are related to lumichrome.
Okay.
And so people have been wondering for a long time whether or not, you know, under the right circumstances, whether or not, you know, humans glow. Well, the truth of the matter is we all glow to some degree. We just don't perceive it.
Mm-hmm.
There was this guy that was studying squids down in off of Baja, California.
Yeah.
So you know where Baja, California is? That's that part that sticks down below California.
Okay.
Off to the west of Mexico, right?
All right.
And in between Baja, California and Mexico, there's this, I don't know what the name of that body of water is, but that's where some of the hugest population of squids are on the planet.
Okay.
And these people go down and dive and study them. Of course, you got to be careful because you get in the wrong group of these certain kinds of squids, and they'll try to rip the diver apart.
Yeah, or they should watch out for Squidward too. Oh, but I need to answer here. Abby said, Aaron, did you look up those humongous oddities that Nicoletta Trumpy Bear mentioned? Wowzer. Yes, I started to. However, I didn't find anything. If you find something, send me something. I just tried looking now. I can't find anything. So send me what you found, Abby. I would be interested to see that. I'll keep looking, but I haven't found anything really. With the little humanoids that you can supposedly conjure up with alchemy or something. Weird. Anyway. And the picture I have up is from the Stan Romanek bunch of pictures. This was one of the alien selfies that was on his camera that went missing for 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden it was back on the counter in the kitchen. And it had like 3 or 4 alien selfies on it. This was one of them. Now the other ones, you can't see the nose. This one, you can clearly see the nostrils. But you can't really see much else. So it's an interesting picture nonetheless. So I thought I'd show it.
So what was interesting about the squid, this guy set up equipment to try to understand how the squids see, you know, whatever. And he discovered that the squids see the fish glowing, that the fish in the ocean, most of them actually are glowing in frequencies we can't see readily. And this is, I don't know, it was a National Geographic Explorer program or something where they had this thing on and they were showing what the fish see, you know, what the squid sees. And I didn't realize that the squid could see just by the colors its favorite prey. You know, because it's light, it's lit up. And it's saying it changes the nature of how we view the ocean, because if the squid can see this, maybe other fish in the sea are using the same kind of thing. They're seeing the glow from all these other fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of like the way bugs see flowers different than we see them.
Right. What if we glow? And what if something can pick us out because of the way we glow? You know, kind of scary.
I'm messing with this image here. It's from the Dorothy Izat bunches of images where she'll be filming with her home movie camera. Alien craft would be like a couple just dots in the night sky. And then there'll be one frame on the what's like 16 or 17 frames per second film. One frame will be bizarre like this one, and then the next frame back to like one little dot or two little dots. And so just only one frame does this. So it's very interesting. It's very curious. It's like it's.
Well, I've had that happen before.
Really?
I had we used to have these, not campouts, but campfires all the time, right? A bunch of group of people get together and they just sit around a campfire and roast marshmallows and cook hot dogs and whatever, just enjoying each other's company. Well, I'm the guy that would bring things to make the fire turn green, the whole campfire turn green, things like that, and so I was taking pictures, right? I had this little first digital camera I think I ever had, and I put it in video mode and I was recording video. And when you go back and look at it, there's things in the video that say, what's that? I still to this day don't know what it is. And if you go through it, there's only a few frames of this. Is that some kind of an electronic glitch in the camera, or is it something real? I actually don't know. I still don't know what it is, because nobody can figure it out. I showed it to everybody. They don't remember seeing anything like that. There's one time we had one of those campfires around Halloween.
Okay.
And I had this gigantic dragon costume.
Okay.
I mean, this dragon costume stood 10 foot tall.
All right.
And I got dressed up in this thing, and I stuck through the woods. There's a woods close by. And the woods is about, 20, 30 feet away from the campfire.
Uh-huh.
If you ever think in my power to get through that woods without making too much noise, but I was like, when I spread the wings on this dragon, the wingspan was probably at least 10 feet.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, 10 or 12 feet. And so it was pretty impressive. So I had let a couple friends know that I was going to do this. And so they're not supposed to give it away, right?
Uh-huh.
So I eventually came out of the woods and I was sneaking up toward the campfire. And it's everything my other friends I had told about to do to not react, sneak up behind or somebody with their back to the woods. Sneak up behind and go, rah!
Wow.
So,
you scared the heck out of them?
Yeah, it wasn't such a good idea. Somebody about ran through the fire to get away.
Oh, no.
So,
yeah.
It was almost a tragedy.
I heard about a guy in a Bigfoot suit got hit by a car and got killed.
And then I had a little 6-year-old kid that was so enamored by that costume, he wanted to wear it. Of course, I took pictures of him.
Okay.
The dragon was twice his height when he put it on.
All right. Wow.
It didn't fit him, of course, but he still loved every second of it. Yeah. Then he had claws. The hands stood out from my body. The claws stood out, from the end of my hand. You held onto these round cylindrical things, handles at the end of it. And they stood out another 2.5, 3 feet beyond the arms.
All right.
Stretched. So it's pretty impressive. I still have it. I'll probably show up at some of my friends at Halloween this year.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon shall return.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Well, I spent a lot of money on that thing. I usually never spent much money on any kind of costume, but that one I did.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Well, the reason I keep using it once in a while because it's so spectacular. I went around with Batman one year. And another trick I like to do is we're supposed to be having a Halloween contest.
Mm-hmm.
And the group going to enter it's at some place location like some kind of a restaurant or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show up with one costume and then have a reason to leave, and I'll come back with the second costume. So nobody knows who it is.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's cool. We had one, there was one house on our neighborhood that gave the big candy bars, not the little dinky ones. So we would always have a couple masks in our bag. We'd come there a couple of times. Weren't you boys already here? No, I mean, no, we weren't here before. Oh, we were so sneaky, but she was so cool. She had this house. It was beautiful. It was on Lake Minnetonka, and she had apple trees. And she owned the property across the street too, and that was full of apple trees too. But she had a stone house made from stones from Lake Minnetonka, and a fence made from stones from Lake Minnetonka, and a giant spider web window above the door. It was beautiful. Perfect for Halloween. It was like the perfect
like
Halloween.
Stained glass type thing.
It wasn't stained glass. It was like normal glass, but it was like a spider web. It was really cool.
Right.
And she'd dress up like a witch, and welcome to my cauldron. And so it was really a lot of fun. So yeah, we always used to have a couple masks for that place.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay. I put up a picture here, and I should say something about it. This is a picture from the surface of Venus. So this is a structure on Venus. What is it? It's kind of U-shaped. It's kind of like a building or something. It's pretty big. I know Mud Rabbit just dropped a link to rents.com on something that wants me to take a look at. Mystery Space Machines. Oh yeah, the Mystery Space Machines. Yes, these are great. Okay, I'll.
Did you ever dress up as Elvis for Halloween?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever did Elvis was for Halloween. I made the costume in one night, Halloween night, out of a karate shirt. No, not a karate shirt, a sailor shirt, pair of white pants, and a bedazzler. And there I went. I was Elvis.
I lived as a lightning bug one year. I made this gigantic lightning bug costume. I mean, it was, and the whole back end of it was what's called electroluminescent materials.
Okay.
I could flick a switch, make lights go on, so I could make it flash.
All right.
Of course, I won the Halloween contest.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway, it was a fun making it. I still have. It's kind of in disrepair, but I made it. Still have it.
Okay. I'm gonna share what Mud Rabbit just sent. Okay. Okay, I have to go over here.
Used to have a lot of things on there. It was pretty cool.
Mystery Space Machines Part 2, including video of more government surveillance and intimidation. Okay, and the link is there if anyone wants to go through this. We're just going to look at the pictures, look at these things. Yeah, these are captured by telescope, and they're very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. What are they? They're up there. There's something up there. What the heck is it, right? Well, it's a secret space program.
What are they talking about in the chat tonight?
Let's see. When I'm doing that, I can't look at the chat, but let me just go check over here. Yeah, I did, Abby. I did look a couple times. I didn't, I'm not sure really what I'm looking for. There's a lot of different things on homunculus images. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe if I knew what I was looking for, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. It seems like there's some kind of video game or something called that or something. And a lot of the images are something like that. In fact, I got it right here. It's, yeah, I don't know what this is. Yeah, I guess it's bizarre. I don't really exactly know what we're really kind of looking for here. So I'm not sure if any of this is what they're talking about. No clue. No clue at all. No clue.
So is there any news about when Corey or Andy's going to come on again?
Nope, no word yet. No, I haven't heard. I really was hoping to hear by yesterday, but didn't hear a single word. I think Corey's just been going kind of nuts with this, this new intel that he's dropping. It's just incredible stuff. It's so disturbing, and it's turning a lot of people away. And I saw an article by Dr. Michael Sala, and it was very sad to see. Very sad to see. He's basically not sticking up for Corey, and
You said he's not sticking up for Corey?
that seems like not. No, the article was, there's two narratives in the full disclosure. One narrative is a negative message, and one is a positive message. And he's sticking with the positive, but it's not that Corey's is negative. That's not what it is. It's just that we need to be aware as a people of what's been happening, or it's going to continue. I mean, you can sing rainbows and butterflies all you want. But if you don't notice that there's cockroaches in the kitchen, guess what? While you're singing about rainbows and butterflies,
you get sick from all of them in your food.
they're going to be taken over. And then at some point, it's going to be too late. So you need to know they're there. The evil forces, the cockroaches. You need to know that they're there. You need to know what's happening. That's the first step to fixing something.
Right.
To know that you got a problem.
You don't know it's there.
Yeah, you can't just talk about rainbows and fun things all the time. I would love to do that. Trust me. But there's a time and a place. There's incredible evil happening, and we need to wake up to it so we can address it and fix it, because we need to.
I used to trust what Michael Sala said, but now he's got every little thing that he hears, he puts out his back, which it's quite fun to listen to. But again, I have trouble because it's not.
Yeah, it's not vetted.
He doesn't even.
The information's not vetted, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't like to.
So hard.
I don't like to badmouth anybody. I don't like to badmouth anybody, but I do like to stick up for Corey, because I just think he's a real honest guy, and the stuff that he is exposed to, if this is true, should be known. That's why I want to have him on the show as often as he wants
to. We should avoid bad-mouthing people, because we don't know.
No, we don't know.
Unless we have evidence, unless we have actual evidence to say, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This person's wrong. That's different. But
yeah, it's kind of like when someone asks you, oh, what do you think I should do with this relationship? It's like, well, how would I know? I've known nothing about these people's relationship. Even if I know I'm good, how would I know? You can't give someone advice.
It might sound preposterous, but it might be true.
Yeah.
And so you got to kind of reserve judgment and say, okay, well, it doesn't ring true to me, but that doesn't mean it isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, I like what Michael Sala puts out there. It's highly entertaining. I kind of hope a lot of some of the stuff he's saying is true, but until we actually have some kind of sauce that goes along with it, I can't let myself really believe it. Although I do believe that there's something very much similar to what he's describing going on out there. Same way with Corey,
Uh-huh.
I want to believe what he's saying,
Right. I do believe what he's saying. I think he's a very honest guy. But sometimes, these people, they have people telling them stuff. So are the people telling them stuff, telling them, so they might be telling an honest person some things that aren't true. You don't know. But I think
Right.
when he talks about his personal experiences, I do totally believe it all. And if he's not spreading truth, it's just because someone isn't giving him the right truth. I don't know, but I would trust what comes from Corey. That's my opinion. Now, Abby says,
nothing wrong with that. I can't disprove any of that.
Abby's
I'm the last one to say I know. I don't know.
Abby says, homunculus images, you'll have to scroll a little. Yeah. I'm really not sure what we're looking for there. Some of them look alive. That spelling is legit weird creature created. Usually it's in front of someone on the table. In front of someone on the table. Let me go back to my little search here.
I mean, I've had so many weird experiences in my life. It's kind of hard for me to be critical of someone because I can't really prove the things that I've seen and whatever. So that kind of makes me think about what other people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, well, it sounds preposterous, but some of the things I've said are quite preposterous. So, and I know, you know what you've experienced, right? So, even if you can't adequately prove it to somebody else, so that's why I leave the door open that everything that these people might be saying might be true, or some of it might be true, or I can't really distinguish at this point, anyway. And I understand why that could be. I mean, things have been shrouded in secrecy for so long. That's part of what they have been attempting to do. They've been attempting to keep us in such a state that we couldn't understand what's true and what's not. Look at our own government. We didn't see this coming. Well, we saw it to some degree, but we never thought. I don't think there's anybody out there really thought it would be this bad. It's like waking up like I said, in a bizarre movie, and you're like, what's going on here? Am I really awake? Or this is still a nightmare or something?
Wow.
So,
yeah. I'm not finding these, Abby. I'm scrolling through. I'm not seeing anything like that. I think I have to put something more descriptive. I don't know. Like I said, if there's something you want to email me, if you find something, I can't really see anything. There's not much there. I didn't see anything. I can show you. I mean, I'll show you what I see. If it's up here, let's see. Okay, so here it is. I don't know what any of this is. It doesn't look like anything what she was talking about. I don't see anything. Little people on a table in front of people. Is this something here? Cinema. That's from some movie. So it's not actual. Is this what we're looking for? Just cinema stuff? I'm not sure. I don't know what this is. That looks scary. Is that what we're talking about? 1982? It's like a movie. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't. And you got these little fish. What's this? Little characters. I don't know. And cartooning. There's so many different things here. These weird guys that are like wrestlers or something. I don't know what this
do we have
is.
any Do we have any horse experts out there in the
Horse
chat?
experts? Horse experts? Why?
Yeah, I was wondering. I've always, all my life, I've had problems with horses.
Problems
they
with
look at
horses.
me and
Yeah.
their eyes get gigantic, and they try. If I'm riding the horse, it tries to knock me off.
Oh, really?
And I always wondered, well, what's that about? I mean, they look like they're terrified when they see me. I
Wow.
always wondered if anybody else had that experience. If so, could they please tell me what the heck they're terrified of? Yeah. Or what is their scene?
Yeah. Wow.
I don't have that enough experience with horses to know.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I gotta find the chat again. Here we go. Thank you for putting in my merch shop. By the way, I got the shirt here. Let me see my camera. See, here's one of the shirts, Truth Quest, Aaron Moriarty. Great shirts. And oh, homunculus, not humungulus. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wrong word. Okay. All right, I'll try looking it up again. Maxwell, exactly. But there's a couple of times there were others that witnessed the strange things in our house, Kelly George said. Okay. So there we go. I'll have to look up that stuff and look into that. It just sounded really weird when she mentioned that. Some kind of black magic alchemy type stuff to create little humanoids. Very bizarre.
I saw one thing one time. I had a friend who was a psychologist that we'd kind of keep her off to the side when we went out someplace because she kept talking about how the mayor's out to get her or the president's out to get her. And we said, well, she's a psychologist. If somebody or one person hears her talking like that, she could be in real trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had no idea where this was coming from. And we were all trying to be supportive. We're all trying to help her. We couldn't say she was wrong, so we never made that judgment that she was wrong because we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it does sound on the overall, it does sound a little bit out there, right? So we're trying to understand this one. And when a buddy of mine who had dated this woman wanted to go out, and we were going out to this karaoke place, and he wanted to come out. It's a restaurant too, and he wanted to come too. And I said, well, I need to ask, my other friend, the psychologist, before if she's okay with that, right? I don't want to create any drama,
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. And so I asked her. She said, no, that's no problem. He can come along. And so we're there, and there's 50 of us there. And we're eating, we're singing karaoke, we're doing things like that. And all of a sudden, I'm watching, and my friend, her name is Deborah, but she was talking to my friend, Carl, and all of a sudden, I see something jump out of Deborah into Carl.
Mm.
And I don't know what to do. I don't tell anybody because they're going to think I'm nuts if I tell them that,
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't say anything. I'm just like, but all of a sudden, Deborah is not talking about things. She's not paranoid. She's not talking about people out to get her or whatever. But all of a sudden, the next few days, Carl's like that. I mean, I'll give you an idea. I was trying to do something nice for Carl. He was looking for his battery he'd been looking for. He couldn't find anywhere, and I was pretty good at finding things. So I said, mind if I look for it, right? And I didn't ask him. I should have asked him, but I snuck the old battery off of his car seat so I could get it right, and I was going to bring it back. Whole purpose was so I could surprise him by finding that battery he wanted. Well, he went off the wall, and something I was the worst human on the planet, and he was like, it was pretty bad, and he just kind of lost it. And well, I'm talking about this to other friends, and they said, "Well, did you see the night we had a karaoke?" I said, "Did you? There's something jumped out of Deborah in the car." I said, "You saw that too?" And I said, "Yeah, I saw that." And I said, "What did you see?" And they described what they saw. And then I discovered about 6 months after that, I discovered a third person had seen it. So 3 separate people had witnessed something jumping out of Deborah in the car.
Wow.
And, well, Carl all of a sudden started going downhill pretty bad, and everything was going south for him. And he stepped on a nail, and it went all the way through his foot. And he's got diabetes, so it wasn't healing right. So he didn't have much income. He was in and out of the hospital, and ultimately he lost part of his foot. And well, I went to the hospital to see him and said, "Carl, this will sound crazy, because I'm a scientist." He says, "Carl, it's like 3 separate people, all these people, all of a sudden saw something jump out of Deborah into you." He says, "No, I don't believe that. That can't be." He says, "Carl, you know me. I'm not going to lie to you. I saw this too, There's something that jumped into you. And it might have something to do with why, nothing's healing, I said, you need to talk to your friends. There's a church group he was going to. He said, you need to have them pray over you. Maybe they can drive this thing out of you, whatever it is." And he promised he'd do it, even though he didn't believe a word I was saying. And then he became normal. And actually, that's right after that's when he actually came to know Jesus Christ.
Okay.
There's strange things happen. I would never imagine in my life that I would have seen or be saying that I saw an entity jump from one person into another.
Yeah.
So, I've only seen, quote, ghosts or apparitions like that 3 times. Once, my friend Susie and I were sitting on the couch watching TV, and we both kind of looked to the left and saw this thing going straight through the countertop. And she looked at me and she says, "Did you see that?" I says, "What?" I want to see what she had to say. She says, "I saw somebody go through that." I said, "Yeah, I saw that." And then finally that time I relayed, I don't know, a few times ago where I had activated the free will love laser for the first time and set it to its first task. And when I did that, all of a sudden I came under attack. And some kind of apparition came in front of my eyes and basically yelled at me to die,
Oh my.
That's the only 3 times that ever happened in my life. But it has a profound effect on you when you actually see something like that for the first time. You're like, now I can't deny it. There's definitely things out here that I don't understand.
Yeah. Like most everything for me.
Have you had any experiences like that, Aaron?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Or even deja vu. I've had deja vu moments where it literally saves your life.
Yeah. I've had a lot of deja vu. It's like deja vu all over again. A lot. I've had that a lot. Definitely.
I trust my gut. I once had a image of I was going to have a car accident.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to be that day. I couldn't prevent it, however. I still had the car accident.
Really? That sucks.
Yeah. But some things came out of it that were good. I mean, I lost a car, one of my favorite cars.
Oh no.
But
What car?
it was total.
Well, what was it?
It was a Nissan Pulsar.
Oh, those are nice. Pulsar.
But I just put lots of money into making it run, just right. And it was actually bears crossing the road.
Wow.
If I couldn't stop fast enough, and I had to go off the edge of the road, and I thought, well, if this car sits low to the ground, it could catch, and it did, and it flipped the car.
Wow. Wow.
And
good thing you survived.
yeah, it was. But there's things that happened. I had a injury to my back from one other accident in my life. The one I was talking about, where I was hovering above my body and looking down.
Yeah.
I had a vertebrae that was like 60 degrees off from other vertebrae.
Okay.
And I'd even had one of the doctors at the hospital said, hey, you need to go to chiropractor immediately, because they might be able to relieve the stress on that vertebrae and pop back in the normal place.
Mm.
If you don't do it, at some future point, you'll have to have major back surgery.
Okay. Wow.
And, well, I tried to go to the chiropractor, and they weren't able to successfully do anything at the time. And, well, that second accident straightened my back.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
It was like, because I had to ask, I was far away from my old home, and I had to get my records from the original chiropractor sent to this new chiropractor. And the chiropractor said, well, I still have to do my own x-rays of your back before I'm going to touch you, because there's too much liability associated with it,
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So she did her x-rays, and she says, these x-rays that were sent, it says, are these yours? I says, yeah. She says, did you have this vertebrae problem in the back? I says, yeah. She says, why? Why are you so interested? It says, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And she showed me, it says, it's gone. So it's like you had this accident to fix your back.
There you go. Wow.
So strange things like that happen,
Mm-hmm. What we're looking at now is a star nebula, or some kind of nebula in space, that I took the image and I mirrored it and created this symmetrical space image. I call them mirror images. They're kind of fun to play around with. You can make lots of different pictures from just one picture. The one before that was a picture made from one picture of Jupiter. And this is from space.
Oh, if you want to,
go ahead.
If you want to see something really cool, you have that model kit from Roswell.
Yeah.
Roswell.
Well,
inside that model kit, or on the back of the box, it had pictures of Area 51 from above, right?
Oh yeah.
And as S4, well, if you take and scan that image at the highest resolution you can, which is, I think, when I did this, it was like 3,200 DPI, dots per inch.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it with black and white scanner at the time.
Uh-huh.
Because when it first came out, I don't even know if they had color scanners when it first came out. It seems like it came out in the early 90s. Well, anyway, I still have the raw data files, but if you change the contrast on the pictures you get, you can see the doors in the mountain, the wall of the mountain on S4.
Wow.
The hangar doors in the mountain.
Oh, you can.
Described.
You can?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you have that box probably somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, I got it on my wall. Let me see.
You know, because you had that model kit.
I got it. It's on my wall here. Hold on a second. Let me look at it. It's still on here. Here it is. Oh, it's tacked to the wall. And it's behind my green screen. So I'll have to get it out some other time and zoom in on it.
Of course, it takes enormous data file, right, in order to scan it at 3,200 dpi dots per inch. But you can zoom in on that area in S4, and you can see the hangar doors in the side of the mountain.
Huh. I'm looking it up on. So it's the back the picture on the back.
I think it's the back of the model kit.
They're only showing the front. Oh, there's the back. Not
Or
very.
either that, or I can't remember. Was there a little?
No, there's no picture.
Little thing inside a little booklet inside the.
There is a booklet, and I actually got the booklet right here. Hold on. Let me try to find it here. Yeah.
So there's little gems like that in data that get overlooked. Like just like those people discovered that the picture of General Ramey holding what's the guy's name?
Oh yeah, he's holding the crash wreckage pieces, and you can see the writing on the paper.
Right.
Right.
Right, and it actually is good information revealed. It's like that.
Well, I'm looking for it. I just saw that just the other day. I know I put it somewhere where I know where it was, and guess what? That's exactly where I don't know where it is now. Ugh. This happens to me a lot. Yeah. Or at least more often than it should.
I did this back in the day when computers were just fairly new. And it took so much, the hard drives weren't very big either.
No.
So I think the gigantic data file for that time, 3,200 DPI.
Oh, here it is. It's right. It was right next to me. I didn't have to get up at all. Oh, jeez Louise. Yeah, here it is. Area S4 UFO instructions. See?
Yeah. Do they show pictures there?
I'm looking.
My memory said it was the box, but maybe. Of course, the box could have changed too. You never know.
No, mine's the original box. Nope, it doesn't have a picture anywhere in it of that. Nope.
But they don't have a big picture of the
Nope.
The overhead view shows Area 51 and
Nope.
S4 and Air.
Absolutely not. Nope. No luck, Chuck.
Something that came with mine had a picture, and that's why when I built the bottle of whatever, and then I scanned that picture.
Well,
it was from a Russian source.
Here's the book right here. And the cover, it doesn't even have the UFO. It has one of those jets.
So no picture of Area 51 or S4.
No, and here's the back of it. It's just colors of paint. And on the inside, it has, ads for other models. And this is a picture of the UFO. Testers.
Okay, this is starting to sound like that effect again.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Here's the second pages. See, it just tells you how to build it and some notes about the product, about the UFO. Very interesting.
Could it be on the side of the box?
No, well, the box is attached to the wall, and it's behind my green screen,
okay.
And it's inaccessible at the moment.
Okay.
Let's just say. I did buy two of them, but I only have one box. I don't know what happened to the other box.
Huh.
So yeah, there's no pictures showing in the booklet. There might have been another booklet. This is the instructions. I think there was another booklet, but I can't find that other booklet that it came with. So I don't know.
Okay. It seemed like there was one booklet that kind of told the story or something and had some.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that part of it. I only have the instruction book that only has some show notes on it. Some show notes.
At the time, I didn't even have a tabletop scanner. I had just one of those hand scanners. They're the black and white, and I had.
Here's some.
Scanned it at the highest resolution, and then I had to alter the contrast up and down. And if you got just the right place, you could see the lines, and it was clear as day.
Yeah. Well, I don't have that, so and I didn't. I did a quick search on the intranet, and the back of the box doesn't show it either. Doesn't show a picture of that. Oh, wait a minute. Was it like a red? Let me see.
It was just an aerial view, or a view like a satellite picture of Area 51 and the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
And it was black and white. It wasn't color or anything, I don't think.
Okay, the closest thing I can find is this. So let me try to zoom in on it and see. It's not going to be that good, but this is just so.
Hey, nowadays you might be able to do that with just on the computer, zoom in and out and change the contrast on the spot, on the fly. You couldn't do that back then when I did it.
Right. Well,
you had to literally scan each picture and change the contrast and scan again or whatever. It was.
Yeah, this I'm zooming in and it's super pixelated, so it's not gonna work. I'll show it on screen here. This is the back of the model kit. There is a little picture here. It looks like the desert, but I don't see how that could be high enough resolution to see something that far down. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see.
Well, you got to remember these hangar doors are huge.
Mm-hmm.
They're not small things,
Yeah, but this is way up. I don't know. It's super high. I can't even see any buildings. It's very, very high. I'll have to look. Like I said, I have to move my green screen. I have to because the thing is actually tacked to the wall. Like,
I have to look even to see if I still have that computer so long ago. I don't know if I even still have that computer. It's so old.
Mm-hmm. But here you can see on the back here, this is the annihilation chamber where the element 115 was turned into pure energy. And the gravity A wave was accessed and amplified and then sent to these gravity wave generators. And if they're all pointed to one direction, they can pull that destination to them, bending space and time. That's how much gravity they're producing. They can bend space and time. And here they got two of them pointing outwards and one pointing down. They can hover and move back and forth with these things too by pointing the gravity wave generators. And he said he could move those gravity wave generators around like a metal kind of pivot, and it looked like solid metal, but he could bend it like with his just hand. You just move it. But very interesting. And he was not ever allowed to go up to the top level. He doesn't know what's up there. He speculates maybe it's navigation, but he only had access to the main floor and the lower floor. So there's only two places where he was not ever given access to the above part. maybe he can't go in that part. I don't know. But so he just, and he was never told what was up there, but he speculates. But he says,
Right.
I'm only speculating. He goes, I don't know. So that's
Did
cool.
you ever see that recent interview that he did with
Joe Rogan? Yeah.
I never saw that.
It was very good. Yeah.
Is it a pay-per-view thing?
No, I don't think so.
I looked for it, but I never could find it.
Oh, they might have taken it off since. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, they don't like that stuff being around. A guy like that gets too many eyes on it. They're trying to. Go ahead.
I talked to Linda Hell once, and she told me she had like 15 additional hours of interviewing with Bob Lazar that, of course, never made it to the any TV program or whatever. I said,
Mm-hmm.
that should be. I told her that should be put where everybody can see it.
Uh-huh.
But she said, "Well, you're right, but nobody has enough time to do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed pretty important. That one story seemed to change the lay of the land, so to speak, with regards to UFOs.
Yeah, well,
it seemed like that story would warrant it.
It sure quieted down after that, didn't it? It's like I said, they're going to play this tic-tac card for 50 years. It's not going to move past that. It's not going to move past that. It'll be Roswell, that maybe they'll throw Kecksburg in or a couple other ones.
Right.
That'll be it. That's it. We don't deserve any more. They're keeping it all to themselves. They're keeping all the power. Whatever. So sick.
I think our impervious leader will do something eventually.
Yeah, boy, I can't wait. Yeah.
After he takes down the bad guys, with our help, of course. But
They could maybe teleport them right from the White House right to Gitmo.
That's a good idea.
Boom. Done.
I'm all for it.
Let's go for it. That wouldn't that be dramatic? The first time teleportation's been used.
It's revealed, we just teleport them out of there.
Yeah. That was good. I had the great pleasure of being on Red Pill's show tonight. I called in. He had John and Amy from Patriot Voice. They're having a thing coming up in Vegas in 6 weeks. It's really, really cool. They showed like someone, the one-armed bandit, what do you call it? Gambling machine, right? Roulette, not a roulette. You pull the arm. What do you call those things? One-armed bandit.
Right.
And it comes up 3 peppies. It was so cool. So, and Code Monkey Z is going to be there. So,
cool.
Wow. Yeah. Fantastic, huh? Wow, thank you, Mud Rabbit, for sharing that stuff. That's awesome. Hey, our Cloaked Unseen World, how you doing? Been hanging out at the Foxhole lately. I got to get over there, too. I got to get my show over there. I have to get a restream so I can do 2 streams at a time. But, 2 of my shows have been removed so far. Watch them on Rumble, number 11 and number 22. You can watch them on Rumble. So there you go.
Oh, that's the red. You got the mark that you're doing something right there. Start taking you down.
Thank you, Dark Brain. Dark Brain says, Aaron, great call to Red Pill. Well done. Well, thanks. He's such a nice guy. I'm glad he's he's moving to Florida. Did you hear about that? He's going to Florida.
Maybe I'll see him.
Yeah. Slot machine. Slot machine. That's what I was trying to think of. Slot machine. Yeah. Thanks, Kelly George. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you see. I'm not gonna talk about this stuff in very big terms. You've seen kind of the evidence that shows that things are being spread around, maybe right? They're trying to find more evidence that somebody's trying to infect, red states.
Yeah. I'd imagine that's probably high on their list, you know.
Well, yeah, they get that proof, right? So they can say, look, this is going on. This has been intentional, I was sickened this morning. I was listening to this Dr. Oz on CBS, and he had these people supposedly that they're black people mostly, and they were asking, well, why don't they believe in the bee, right? And these people said, well, because it's a ski experiment and all this
Right,
stuff.
right, yeah, I heard all that. I don't think we should talk about that. I really don't think we should talk about that, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well,
if I was on another platform, I would love to talk about that stuff, but I really just don't want to talk about it.
Well,
sorry.
The last thing, the bottom line is all these people supposedly changed from totally against it to all of a sudden they're going to get it. And I'm like, oh my God, can't people see through this? That this is just a narrative being put out? It was so obvious when I saw it that that's the whole purpose of this show, was to convince people that all these people suddenly change their mind. It was so contrived. It was obviously contrived. So I was trying to listen to see if this guy, what kind of bias this guy really had, and I definitely came across it. Oh my God, it's awful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the world I grew up in, that's for sure.
No, it's so blatant and obvious. They think they're hiding things so that people can see it. I'm sure, if you're awake enough, anyway, you can see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because people don't change and don't have heartfelt beliefs like that and suddenly dramatically change.
Yeah.
And the odds that everybody that were on your show would do that all at the same time are almost zero. So I was like, come on, this is crazy. People see through this. So
yeah. Anyway, what else was I going to talk about here? Yeah. Let's check out the chat here. Our Cloaked Unseen World just got a strike too. Yeah, and who else? Quite frankly, he's not going to be on YouTube for a couple weeks. He's got two strikes. He's just going to wait it out. He's not even going to post anything till his other two strikes are expired. So he's playing it.
Is that how it works? Do they expire after a certain time or something?
Apparently, that's what he was talking about. Yeah. Apparently, that's the way it works. I have no clue, but that's what he said. So, yeah, I've only had just videos removed. No warning, nothing. Just we've removed this. And it's so weird. The ones they picked, of course.
Oh yeah.
They're the ones that very evil people wouldn't like.
Right.
But good people would like. So, it's like very obvious what they're doing.
Right.
So, okay. Jacob got suspended for a week a little while ago. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's, there used to be freedom of speech in this country, and that was really a fun time when it lasted. We have to get that back. We have to somehow get someone in office that has the kahunas to make these non-freedom of speech platforms into public utilities. I was really hoping
I,
maybe Trump would buy YouTube, although they
right.
probably
Or
wouldn't
create
sell
his
it to
own.
him. They probably wouldn't sell it to him. But I think there's ways of doing that where they wouldn't have a choice. But
Right.
I don't know. But the deep state owns that, so it's not going to be likely.
I saw in the news that in the state of Tennessee, the state attorney general sent some kind of letter to the FINO saying that that they were they thought what was being done was unconstitutional and unlawful. So
I just want to take this moment to say that, nothing said on this show is medical advice. I want to say that everyone should always wear their Invisimask when you're out in public. Always wear your Invisimask. It's been teleported to your face. So there you go. You're covered. Always wear your Invisimask. Never take your Invisimask off. Always mask up for sure. But
I don't think you can take it off unless it's an emergency.
No, you can't. No.
But it's not necessary. Yeah.
One of the hardest parts about that whole operation was biometrically finding everyone's face in a 3D grid and then applying the Invisimask. Thank goodness for computers, otherwise wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, but Trump would have to buy Google and then Chrome to get YouTube. Yeah, who knows? Maybe he's got some info that he could, get a better deal. Hey, I got this info, but I won't tell it if you give me a better deal. Who knows?
Well, what's in people's gut impression? Do you think something will happen before the midterms?
Well, President Trump just sent a letter to Raffensperger or Kemp in Georgia, I believe Georgia, or was it Pennsylvania? One of those two. And wants them to decertify the election because there's enough votes that didn't have chain of custody that are illegal, shouldn't be counted. There's enough of those to decertify the election in that state. So he's saying you should do this. So yeah, I think, the Arizona audit's coming out next Friday, right? 24th, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's the 24th. And something like that. Suppose I could look at
So maybe there's some things that will start to happen.
I think so. I think, this first indictment by Durham, I think it's going to be followed rapidly with several more and some big names, hopefully. And the indictments are just going to be flying out the door. I mean, we've got all these like 200,000 sealed indictments. My goodness, at some point that's got to break. I think 30,000 of them have been cracked open, but not the ones we wanted yet.
Now, here's what I don't understand, and maybe somebody else out there understands. If it rises to the level of the big crime that begins with a T, Treason.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that. If it rises to that level, doesn't it go to court of military justice? So does Durham have anything to do with that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a legal eagle.
So maybe these are my 200 some thousand, maybe the lesser crimes.
Oh yeah, it's Andy's birthday. Andy's birthday now. It's Andrew Bishago's birthday today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Andy. Happy birthday, buddy. I hope that you're able to see. We're sending healing energy to your eyes. and hopefully we'll be able to see again soon. His dad actually told him that he would see again, so he knows he's going to.
Who told him?
His dad, his father, yeah, before he passed away.
Teacher or something?
Before he passed away, yeah. He also told me he lived to age 117. So, so Andy's gonna live a good long life. You know, when I was talking to him on the phone, he told me this, and he mentioned it on the show too. So, I said, wow, Andy, you know you're gonna live to 117. Well, you could skydive every day without a parachute. You wouldn't want to do that, though. You wouldn't want to do that.
No, that's not a good idea.
No, I just had a brief, strange, sort of humorous thought, and maybe it wasn't so humorous, but he laughed. Yeah, yeah, 117 he's going to live to. Can you imagine knowing that? It's like, wow. Yeah, I'm not going to get around to doing that yet. I got plenty of years ahead of me, right?
Well, I don't know. I think somehow there's going to be a lot of little things start happening, and those little things are going to add to bigger things. And like I said, these different revelations, from different states, are going to start coming forward, and suddenly, and there'll be a little bit more pushback.
Yeah,
people see. Most of them are awake. They're not woke. Most of them are awake. Yeah. And I think these people are just, they know they can't talk out. You know, if they say something, they're going to be targeted individuals, right? So yeah. So most of them are keeping quiet and just waiting for the time, right? And so I think that time will start to come, and when the voices of the American people are actually heard, there'll be no stopping the American people at that point.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be yelling, "We're not going to take it. Right, no, exactly. We ain't going to take it." That's a great song. What a great anthem that is. Right. It's just a great anthem. I think they look very strange, but great anthem.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what's going to start happening there. And then once that happens, when the will of the people has been expressed, then we might see our military say, okay, the people have demanded it.
Yeah, well, apparently the military is activated in every single state right now. I saw a disturbing video of this Chinese official, the CCP official, talking about how, well, let me see if I can get that up here. Maybe I got that waiting. Do I have it waiting? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's not there. Not there. Red October. Yeah, Red October, Kelly. Good one. Yes. Red October. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not finding what I was looking for, so I apologize.
Trumptober.
Pardon?
Trumptober.
Trumptober, yeah. I always call it Rocktober. I guess it could be a good Rocktober, couldn't it? One last little look here. No, not finding it. Oh, you want to see something totally random and off the cuff, or just totally random, weird? It's a drawing I did. It's kind of like a little comic. What do you think of this? You know, when you cut an avocado in half, and one side has the pit and one side doesn't. Mine is an innie, mine is an outie, kind of like a belly button. I thought that was kind of cute. That's a little comic that I did a while back. Anyway, whatever that was, just a little graphic, something to entertain you, to entertain you all. So there it is, and there you have it. How do you like that? Oh, Bud Rabbit thinks it's cute. Thank you. Oh, and Kelly George is crying, laughing. Thank you. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cute. Avocados are interesting fruits, you know?
They're superfood. They're great.
Yeah. And do you know what helped them spread around, those trees? Elephants. Elephants. Because they could eat them.
Did you hear they're trying?
Huh?
Is on today's news they're trying to revive the woolly mammoth.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe they've taken this long to do it. Why haven't they done it yet?
They said that they think it'll fight global warming.
Oh, God. Yeah, the woolly mammoth.
They said there's too much plant life up near the Arctic, so they're hoping the woolly mammoth will.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Change the balance.
As if people could do better than nature. It's so stupid. You know, every time we think we can do better than nature, I remember, and I've talked about this before too, and if I'm repeating myself, I apologize, but you know, we've been protecting the redwood forest for hundreds of years, right? About 100 years from fires. Well, fires got to them a few years ago. They couldn't stop them. Well, the trees didn't burn down. Instead, what happened is it triggered a release of sap from the trees that put out the fire, and it also triggered the seeding of the plants of the trees because they hadn't seeded in like 100 years. They're wondering, why aren't these trees seeding? Because they need fire. So here, us little teeny humans are thinking that we can be better than nature and protect these great grand trees from burning.
And we're doing a great service.
We're doing the exact opposite. So bringing woolly mammoths is like the worst idea I could ever think of. Hello, our Cloaked Unseen World has super chatted us. Thank you, my friend, for doing that. That's awesome. Helps pay the bills. I'll go read HR Bill 5123, Space Command 2 Act by 1011. All right, we'll do that. Space Command. Interesting.
Well, a long time ago, it's been years now, they had it in Scientific American. They talked about this, how they genetically engineered these salmon that were normally the normal size salmon, right? And somebody got the idea of putting it in the ocean. Now normal size salmon, you know, they're a few feet long.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know, 10 pounds or something at the most. And they engineered the salmon to be 900 pounds.
Wow.
And the problem, that's one thing, understanding this process. It's another thing, they released it into the wild.
Wow.
And so, in theory, it's out there decimating the fish populations in the Pacific.
Yeah. Could you be more specific about that?
But that's just crazy. Something that big is going to have no natural predators, right?
Yeah.
And so it's going to go out there and gobble everything up. You know? So it was quite crazy, you know. Who told them they could do that, you know?
Right. Hey, we got to say hi to our friend Austin Morris is in the house. Hey, Austin.
Hi, Austin.
He's saying hi to everybody. Everybody's saying hi to him. We got such a nice group of people in our chat, don't we? I think we got a great group of people. Great group of people. You know what? Max? Let me see. Let me check something here. Well, no one's calling in. Let's see what the chat has to say. Okay. All righty then. Let me see. I gotta post another picture here. Something. Here is a picture from that I made in the process of making from a picture from Jupiter. Okay. So here you can see in the background, here is the original picture, right? And over here is this picture reversed and half-toned and laid over it so you can move it back and forth. And what you get in the middle are these beautiful symmetrical entanglements that create imagery and just massive cool stuff. This is a little moon that was passing in front of Jupiter. So what I would do then is I would go in and I would just crop this like this. And then you wouldn't see this side and this side. You just have the symmetrical part. That's how I make the mirror images. So that's that. But I love these little things that show up when it's symmetrical. It's just really beautiful, I think. Very beautiful. Oh, and Des Volt actually laughed out loud. Oh. Did we tell a joke? I think we did tell a joke, didn't we? I just can't remember. Pretty. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? I just love. See, we've got this probe that's been going around Jupiter in sort of an orbital, like a elliptical orbit, and it comes very close to Jupiter, and it takes these beautiful, beautiful pictures. And when you're looking at these pictures of these close-up pictures of Jupiter, you might actually be looking at life, because remember, Corey Goode, when Corey Goode was in the secret space program on a research vessel, they went to Jupiter, and in the upper atmosphere of Jupiter, they found these plasma life forms feeding off the radiation in the tops of the clouds. So,
has anybody ever researched the, I can't remember if it's Saturn or Jupiter's moon, Iapetus? You ever researched that? It looks like a Death Star.
oh yeah, yeah. David Wilcock talks about that a lot. It looks, well, it sort of looks like a Death Star, but yeah.
And you know, it's got that ridge along the,
Right.
it's exact in the middle, like somebody took two halves of the slate and put together.
Yeah, like a walnut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like a walnut.
And when they analyze it, they said that set detectors at it, it comes out of it, and it's not silica or titanium dioxide or any of that stuff. It's like 99% carbon or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
wow.
That's not a natural. There's no other place in the universe that we know of is there such a structure.
Wow.
There was a lot of information on, it was pretty interesting on, it's the guy, the Base on Mars guy.
Oh, Hoagland?
Yeah, there's some website. There's some pretty interesting stuff there about that.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Cool.
That was pretty cool.
That is cool.
He's got some good things on there. There's the infrared, high resolution infrared images of the area around the face on Mars, and you can see underground.
Yeah.
And they claim just a few feet underground, under the sand, is ice.
Oh yeah.
And they can see the ice and see the city. Did anybody see those pictures? One of the most extraordinary pictures I've ever seen.
Wow.
It shows a city under the ice.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah, you have to check that out. There's a lot of really interesting.
in Hoagland's? Hoagland's?
Yeah, it was at enterprisemission.com.
Okay.
I haven't been there a long time, but I assume it still exists.
Enterprise Mission.
.com. And then search on, I guess, I can't remember what to look for, IR images or something like that.
Okay.
Capital I, capital R images.
I can't look right now because my desktop is just so full of stuff.
But that stuff is really pretty cool. But people haven't done that. Check that out.
That sounds interesting. Enterprise Mission.
In that story about Iapetus, they show that, there's these, I don't know what you want to call them. They're little round pieces of rock that look just like Iapetus.
Mm-hmm.
They got the thing around the center, and it looks kind of like, every one of them looks kind of like the Death Star.
Okay.
Have you seen the thing? And they're on the inside. They're filled with some spongy material, and people have speculated that these are a way of somewhere in the past our planet got seeded with life.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish I could remember what the names of that was, so I could send them straight to that.
Mm-hmm.
When they see that, like, whoa,
Mm-hmm. Well, Mud Rabbit's taking off. It's 2:40 for Mud Rabbit. So thank you so much for being here. I think we're going to put a cork in it too, friends. It's 1:40 here a.m. And
okay.
if we're going to have a chance at a morning tomorrow, we better get some shut-eye. What do you think, folks?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Oh, Road Rabbit says, Aaron, thank you for another fabulous show. Everyone have a beautiful night. Going to put this on the Roku and slip off to dreamland. Oh, that sounds very nice. I hope you have a really good dream. I hope you all have very good dreams. Everyone. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to take off too. So thanks to everyone who chatted, to everyone who watched and shared, liked, and subscribed. Thank you so much. Really appreciate every one of you. And thanks to Max for calling in and everyone who came tonight. I mean, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys rock. And remember now, on the weekend, we might be doing a show Saturday or Sunday, but we're definitely coming back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around the same time. On nights when Red Pill is on, we're on after Red Pill. Otherwise, usually like 9 or 10, something like that, p.m. We'll see you there. Remember to wake the kids and the neighbors when the time comes. And we'll see you next time out on the web. Until then, peace in both ways. Thank you very much. Have a great dream, everybody.